Module Overview. Introduction. The Guardian of the Constitution. The judiciary in any democratic society functions as the ultimate guardian of the Constitution, protector of civil liberties, and enforcer of the rule of law. It is one of the three arms of government and is instrumental in ensuring the checks and balances necessary to curb abuse of power by the executive and legislature. In the context of Nigeria's complex political structure, marked by ethnic plurality, military legacies, corruption, and fragile institutions, the judiciary is both a beacon of hope and a subject of intense scrutiny. This module explores the structure, roles, powers, challenges, and evolution of the Nigerian judiciary and its foundational principle, the rule of law. It dissects how justice is administered, the independence of the judiciary, and how laws are interpreted in a constitutional democracy like Nigeria. Structure of the Nigerian judiciary. The Nigerian judiciary is organized in a hierarchical structure according to the 1999 Constitution as amended, reflecting both federal and state levels and embracing both common law and customary law traditions. A. Superior Courts of Record, as listed in Section 6 of the Constitution. Supreme Court. Apex Court, final authority on all legal matters. Court of Appeal. Hears appeals from lower courts. Federal High Court. Hears cases on federal laws and matters. State High Courts. Handles state-level civil and criminal cases. National Industrial Court. Deals with labor and industrial relations. Sharia. Court of Appeal. Hears Islamic personal law matters. Customary Court of Appeal. Deals with customary law appeals. B. Inferior Courts. Customary and area courts. Magistrate courts. Mobile courts. Each court has defined jurisdiction, and judges are expected to uphold justice without fear or favor. Functions and roles of the judiciary. Interpretation of laws. Judiciary determines the meaning and scope of constitutional and statutory provisions. Adjudication of disputes. Resolves civil and criminal matters between individuals, corporate bodies, and government institutions. Judicial review declares actions of government unconstitutional if they violate the Constitution. Protection of fundamental rights through enforcement of Chapter 4 of the 1999 Constitution. Guardianship of the Constitution ensures other arms of government operate within the law. Electoral dispute resolution adjudicates on pre- and post-election matters. Promotion of rule of law and legal certainty promotes confidence in the legal system and strengthens democratic governance. The rule of law, pillar of democracy. The rule of law is the principle that no one is above the law and that laws should be applied equally and fairly without arbitrariness or favoritism. A. Components of the rule of law. Equality before the law. Supremacy of the Constitution, due process, and fair hearing access to justice. Judicial independence. B. Rule of law in practice. The courts must uphold legality, resist executive overreach, and hold leaders accountable. The citizens' rights to fair trial, expression, movement, and association are protected through legal instruments such as Fundamental Rights Enforcement Procedure Rules, 2009. African Charter on Human and People's Rights, Ratification and Enforcement Act. Challenges facing the judiciary in Nigeria. Despite its noble mandate, the Nigerian judiciary faces numerous systemic challenges. A. Political interference. Appointments and promotions of judges are sometimes influenced by political considerations. Judicial officers face intimidation by powerful interests. B. Corruption and bribery. Perceptions of cash-and-carry justice undermine public trust. Lack of transparency in some high-profile rulings. C. Delay in justice delivery. Congested court dockets, lack of automation, and bureaucratic inefficiencies. Justice delayed is justice denied. D. Inadequate funding. The judiciary lacks financial autonomy and depends on the executive for funding, weakening its independence. E. Lack of enforcement of judicial orders. Executive non-compliance with court rulings erodes authority of the judiciary. Reforms and prospects. To reposition the judiciary as a credible institution of justice, several reforms have been proposed and partly implemented. Judicial autonomy and financial independence, digitalization of court procedures, e-filing, virtual hearings. Anti-corruption drives within the bench, merit-based judicial appointments, judicial training and retraining. There is also a need for civic education, so citizens can understand their rights and demand accountability.